सर आप कर पा रहे हैं क्या? वेलकम कुशल जी।
हाँ जी, थैंक यू अशोक जी। गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन।
गुड मॉर्निंग।
हाँ जी।
हेलो अशोक, इससे आ रही?
हाँ क्लियर है सर, बिल्कुल क्लियर है सर।
नहीं, लैपटॉप पे किया है मैंने।
ओके। और इसमें सर सब कुछ ठीक आ रहा है, वॉइस भी, वीडियो भी, ऑडियो भी, सारा ठीक है सर इसमें?
अच्छा, डेस्कटॉप को रीस्टार्ट किया है। अच्छा, आप क्या ट्राई?
इसमें भी ठीक है सर। आई थिंक दिस इज ऑल्सो गुड सर।
वहाँ ट्राई किया है मेंबर सर? हाँ, नहीं तो सांप से ही वो बात जो भी उठाता है ना, तो सांप से
माइक
बात।
म्यूट कर लीजिए सर। यस सर। सर मैंने अभी रिंग किया था, वहाँ कोई नए हैं, उनको मैंने रिक्वेस्ट किया है अरेंज करने के लिए।
अच्छा, ये सांप से ही बात कर लेता हूँ डायरेक्ट।
यस। वेलकम गरिमा जी। आई हैव मेड यू speaker.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning from MyGov.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Okay, so both of you are together. Okay, fine. I was
Yes,
just
we are
searching your
together.
name. Yeah, okay, great. So we'll wait for some time because our time is at 11 and we have
Okay.
a 10-15 minute inaugural and then my presentation. So
Sure.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we will just turn off the video because some
No
other.
issue.
We'll,
No issue
okay,
at all.
thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Welcome, Sumit ji. Can you hear me? Good morning, Singhal sir.
गुड मॉर्निंग अतुल, कैसे हो?
ठीक सर, थैंक यू सर. Good morning, Atul sir.
Good morning, Ashok.
Member sir has joined, sir. Welcome, Siti. Just speak, unmute yourself and speak.
Good morning,
Yeah.
everyone. Sorry, I did not realize I was on mute. I'm so sorry.
No problem. No problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting for our member S to join.
Okay.
Member S sir has joined again. Sir, can you unmute and speak? Member sir has joined, but the mic is mute, sir.
उसमें कुछ इको आ रही थी अशोक।
हाँ सर, दोबारा ज्वाइन किया सर ने।
आपके रूम में पावर है क्या?
Sir, I have UPS, sir.
No. नॉर्मल लाइट साफ करेंगे। जी सर। हाँ सर, उसने बना दिया है आपको प्रेजेंटर। हाँ सर, तो एक बार माइक को अनम्यूट कर दें। अरे अभी कॉल नहीं दो। अशोक
सर को प्रेजेंटर बनाया हुआ है सर।
हाँ, तो माइक अनम्यूट नहीं कर पा रहे हो।
सर अनम्यूट तो खुद ही करते हैं सर, रिमोट से अनम्यूट नहीं होता सर। सर कर सकते हैं सर।
प्रेजेंटर बना दिया अभी।
ये सर यहाँ दिख रहा है सर, प्रेजेंटर में आप देख सकते हैं सर का नाम आ रहा है सर।
अच्छा अच्छा। जी सर, जी सर। सर एक बार दोबारा ज्वाइन कर लें काट के। हाँ सर, क्यों प्रेजेंटर बना दिया ऑलरेडी सर। अशोक।
ये सर
कैमरा और माइक दोनों डिसेबल्ड आ रहा है साहब।
सर ने 2 डिवाइस से ज्वाइन किया क्या सर? मैं एक बार और कोई और नाम से सर्च
2 डिवाइस से ज्वाइन किया है क्या सर? एक डिवाइस? नहीं सर, एक से करिए। अरे जी हाँ सर, एक से कर लीजिए प्लीज।
सर 1 मिनट, मैंने दूसरे को भी किया सर, अभी बोल के देखें सर।
नहीं नहीं, एक से ही करने दो ना, फिर गड़बड़ हो जाएगी।
यस
वो होगा ना फिर वहां पे।
हाँ सर।
सर
सर को अभी बना दिया सर दोबारा। सर आप अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं।
अभी
हाँ सर अनम्यूट हो गया सर। यस सर, वी कैन हियर यू सर। यस सर।
Can you hear me?
यस सर।
यस सर।
अच्छा गुड।
एक सेकंड सर, वो
वीडियो आ रहा है? वीडियो नहीं आ रहा?
अभी नहीं आ रहा सर।
अब आ गया।
अब अभी आएगा, अभी आएगा।
आ गया सर, वीडियो आ गया सर।
Good. So can we start now?
Yes sir, so with your permission shall we start sir?
हाँ बिल्कुल।
Thank you sir. So respected member services Dr. Mahesh Shukla sir, respected DG NTI PRIT Raju Sinha sir, DDG Training Management Adhir Singhal sir, Atul Sinha sir, Allah sir, distinguished experts of the session from MyGov, from Germinate, from National Health Authority, and from one of our LSA, Gujarat LSA, and most important participants from DOT headquarter, TEC, all our LSAs, CCAs, BSNL, MTNL, ITI, and other units of DOT. So good morning and welcome to this online workshop on social media outreach and its best practices. I'm Ashok Kumar, ADG Wireless Access NTI PRIT. I also look after social media related activities of NTI PRIT. So with this introduction, may I request DG NTI PRIT for a formal welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ashok. Respected Dr. Mahesh Shukla sir, Member Services DCC, senior officers, colleague from DOT headquarter, LSAs, TEC, NCCS, BSNL, MTNL, and other units. Learned speaker in the session, Madam Garima Tiwari and Subha Sen Gupta ji from MyGov, Madam Christy from Social Media Expert, Shri Kushal Arora, Germinate, and Mr. Sumit Misra, Dr. Edwin from Gujarat LSA, participants from various fields, fellow officers from NTI PRIT, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to this webinar in the chilly morning of Delhi around, and again wish you all a very happy new year. We assembled to know and deliberate an important prevalent subject, social media outreach for government department and best practices. Social media relates to activities, practices, and behavior among people involved and gathered online to share information, knowledge, and opinion using various media. The application of social media by government requires an organizational change to the culture, people, structure, and processes for effective result to be achieved. It can create opportunities for developing community-based partnership by facilitating engagement with the public. Creating and maintaining interaction and relationships. The government is engaging and using social media in different ways, like promoting events and activities, problem solving, gaining community input, and many more. Government is also harnessing technology to improve efficiencies and engage citizens. Amazingly, technology-based mechanism for communication and engagement do not benefit only those who can advance the technology uses. Rather, it takes care of almost all group of people. Therefore, professionals in using the technology should take it as an opportunity for making the organization more global, interactive, in dialogue, and socially responsible also. In our field of serving through telecommunication, social media are functional in publishing information about public interaction and sharing a strategy for resolving social problems and promoting positive changes. Social media as an alternative is an public space. It is practiced in its SOUP, that is called SOUP model, where it means as for sharing, then openness, uniqueness, and partnership. To practice applying social media is vitally acceptable. Though there are IT rules in our country very stringent to use social media in a given framework, yet operating within that framework, the impact of social media is tremendous. It has become part of many people's daily life, using popular apps like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Coup of India, WhatsApp, Samvad, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and many more. But to create greater impact about the services department is offering, it has to be very carefully choose the platform which target populations are using more. Different platforms have different functionality, which often makes them more suitable for specific services and industries. We have to take care the target segment to whom messages are aimed. Language of communication also has great impact, as Secretary Telecom was telling in another meeting. Reusing or broadcasting feedback of people whose life has been positively impacted due to services offered is a great source on social media. That will be more listening from my friend from Gujarat. We'll be learning more while interacting with expert speakers in the session. NTI PRIT will keep organizing training for rich experience in this domain so that participants can get to know more. Over to Ashok.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for welcoming all the participants and our members. Sir, before I give it to members, sir, for inaugural address, I would like to introduce our speakers of the today's session. So we have Mr. Subho Sen Gupta, who is Director, Media and Creative in MyGov. So he has a very rich experience in the social media field. He's a digital marketer. So his core area is brands, agencies, government, startup. He is also a co-founder of one of the startup. He's an influencer. We see a lot of articles from Subho on various newspapers. So he's a columnist. And one of the aspect about him is that he's one of the first Indians to cycle Manali to Leh solo. So he would be speaking. We also have Garima Tiwari ji, who is also Director, Special Projects in MyGov. So Garima has 16 plus years of diverse experience. And he's dealing with special projects at MyGov for last 6.5 years. So from MyGov, we have two speakers, Subho and Garima ji. Then we have Siti Garg. Siti Garg is Senior Consultant in National Health Authority, Media and Communications. Siti had worked with me while I was in Aadhaar. So Siti has built up the entire Aadhaar social media handles from scratch. So we'll be hearing from her about her experience and her guidance to our nodal officers. And then we have Kusal Arora from Germinate. So Germinate is a social media company. They also have a tool, social media tool, and also they provide services to various government departments. So they have a rich experience in this particular area. So we'll be listening to Kusal. So Kusal is particularly, he's kind of an analytics consultant in Germinate, and his expertise in social media listening, online reputation management, and social media research. So we all will be benefited with his talk today. And finally, we have Sumit Misra, Director Admin in Gujarat LSA. So if you see various handles of DOT field unit like LSAs and CCA, so from Gujarat LSA, they are very active and they are posting various activities or announcements from DOT side. So we'll hear about his experience. So particularly experience sharing session is by Sumit Misra. So with this introduction, I would also like to tell all our distinguished participants here that in case you have any question, so either you can raise your hand or write your question in the chat box. So in case you want to ask question while sessions are going on, please use the chat box. At the end of all the sessions, we have question answer sessions. So better you keep asking your question in the chat box. And after every session, we can take some of your questions, or our speakers can directly answer into the chat box itself. So with this introduction, may I now request our Member Services DCC, Dr. Mahesh Shukla sir, for his inaugural address. Over to you, sir. Sir, you can unmute yourself, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We can hear you.
So good morning to all of you. Good morning to, and a special thanks to Mr. Subho, Madam Garima, Madam Shiti, Kushal, DG NTI Parade, Atul Sinha Sahab, Ashok Kumar ji, and all the officers, all the participants. It is really good, very good that you are organizing this workshop on the social media outreach for the government departments and its best practices. Recently, we have seen that one wrong message can create havoc and one good message can create a very good mood. Last 2 weeks, we have seen that so many promotions have come, so many DPC have been conducted, and I used to watch very keenly that somebody will write DPC is being conducted on 15th. Somebody will say, no, it is on 7th. Somebody will say that it is on 25th. So all kinds of rumors and all kinds of wrong messages or messages without foundation have been getting circulated, and then ultimately we had to somehow stop that by putting an injunction, no, it is on 30th, and put a stop to that. Similarly, we have seen that among our officers, a fear was getting created. Somebody just posted that 10 officers have been removed for 56, and their list is being prepared for 50 more. Now, where from this information is there? Who gave this information? His motive? And then we had to say that there is no such list getting prepared. It is all rumors. So sometimes people use social media to extract the correct information. You put a wrong information into the group, the administration is bound to react to it because it's wrong information, and in turn, the motive of the originator gets fulfilled, that he gets the corrected information that, okay, there is no list getting prepared. Okay, today is not the DPC. So this kind of handling by the message creators is also seen, and by virtue of our experience, we have seen that we have to be very careful in not only posting the messages, because in the democracy, the engagement of the citizens and engagement of the officers and staff and engagement of all the what you call ecosystem is very important. We interact with the media, we interact with the industry, we interact with the officers, we interact with the stakeholders, and everybody has a stake and everybody has a say, and we have to balance everything and then reach to the masses, reach to the public. So it is good that Subhoji, who is a opinion maker, he will give a talk, and Garima will follow up, and all, because it is such a nice talk which will give nice inputs, and then good examples also will come up during the talk. I am sure the question and answer session is also there. I would have preferred to be there, but then it so happens that NTI is a little away. But nevertheless, I wish success. I wish success to everyone. I wish success to organizers. I wish that this workshop is again repeated, because today I find that many officers have joined, but then we have got 3,000 officers here, and we have got about 30,000 officers in BSNL. So next time, Sinha Sahab, I would put a request that request Shubho sir and Garima madam and Shruti ma'am that we will again organize this workshop. We will invite Secretary Sahab also, and if possible, we will get it inaugurated by our minister, and we will also involve all our PSUs, including 30,000 employees of BSNL and all the officers and staff of the LSAs and the field units and the CCAs also, because it's such a subject that everybody will get benefited, and the good use of the social media is always beneficial. So with these words, I will put a stop and then request the organizers to please continue. And while we shall be listening here, but then I'll put off my video so that I can continue in between other works, also fill in the gaps. And with these words, I stop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. With your permission, we will now start the session. So may I request MyGov team, Mr. Subho and Garima, to kindly share your screen, and please take your.
We'll share.
Please go ahead.
Sure.
Thank you.
Can you see our screen? Effective
Yes,
communications.
Yes, it's
okay.
coming. Yeah.
So I'll just a couple of sentences, and then Garima, my colleague Garimaji, will take you through the first part, and I'll come in later. So it's an honor and a privilege to be invited to this August gathering where we can share our learnings at MyGov over the last 8 years. I mean, the PM, as we all know, launched MyGov in 2014, July, I think.
Yeah.
And since then, it has been the world's, it has evolved into the world's largest citizen engagement platform. Citizen engagement platform is engagement is a key pillar for good governance. And, basically what we do is we are like a bridge between the citizens and the government. And it's a two-way kind of bridge, as all bridges are. So, the citizens talk to the government, share their ideas, suggestions, comments with the government. And the government also highlights the, good work that it is doing. So this is what we do, broadly speaking. And of course, a lot of citizens' feedback is taken into the good running of the government. One quick example I can give is the budget. So, every year, I'm saying budget because it's just around the corner. So every year we take a lot of inputs on the budgets from citizens, mostly young people. MyGov has, I think, starting from teenagers to a very old age, but mostly it's young people in their 20s and 30s mostly. So we take that information, give it to the ministry, and the ministry inevitably picks up 2 or 3 comments, and we highlight those, comments that have made it to the budget, So that's just one example. So that is what we do, and we're proud of being the most, I'm not patting ourselves on the back, the government of India on the back, but the government of India has the largest citizen engagement program in the world. Sorry. Other countries have started it before we did, New Zealand, Australia, I think, and the UK, but we are, in terms of sheer numbers, and not just numbers, the sheer volume of engagement across not just, social media, but also our website, mygov.in, which if anyone has not visited and registered yet, I would, request you to do so, because, you will find all the latest news about the government's top schemes in a very, infographic, visual kind of way. You will find a lot of engagements, contests, as we call it, to discuss, disseminate. There are discussions happening. There are quiz programs. Quiz are very popular with, UPSC and other, competitive examination candidates. Okay, so we do a lot of stuff on mygov.in, the website, but also we are also present on social media, of course, not just the usual, Facebook and Instagram and, Twitter and all that, but also the Indian, social media platforms, which we are proud to say, some of which we have nurtured from day zero, like Koo and Roposo. MyGov held, these hackathons where these Koo, Roposo, etc. they won, and we promoted them within the government. Now, ministries are on, Indian social media apps. So I think that is, hopefully, good enough introduction, and we will start off into, what is it that we do, and, what is it that our successes and so on. So Garima ji will take over.
So
Thank you.
Thank you, Subhoji. And as Subhoji said, the role of MyGov. Yes, we are proud to say that in last 8 years, together as team and Team India has made MyGov the biggest citizen engagement platform. And the key role that is to communicate all government initiatives in a format that is very easily understandable, that is very simple, and that people don't find it to be boring. So basically creating a interest quotient. So if you see this graphic, this is on the budget. That was the budget announcements. Those were made last year in the budget by the government, and which are now being already delivered. So now you have, if you can see this simple graphic, it is talking about Startup India. We are obviously being in India now, being the G20 leader for next 1 year. So we have used the G20 logo. We are also utilizing this. So anybody who wants to make an infographic or wants to communicate what government is doing, because social media, me, especially the young people, these fraud.
Garima ji, are you on slide 2? We are able to see the slide 2. What is our role?
Yeah, slide 2. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you have. Yeah, thank you.
No. Okay. We are on slide 2, and the graphic posted over there about Startup India. If you can see that.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So that is what I'm trying to tell you. Infographic is something which is you and me or anybody in any age group. So when we come to social media or any kind of media, whether it is print or television, we always talk about target audience. So this infographic, videos, everything is part of those content creation or the content through which we communicate our messaging. So this infographic is, we have posted this only today morning itself on MyGov Twitter, if you can go and check it out. And this talks about what government has declared during the budget, and it has already been delivered. So there is a young face who is on his laptop. And why this? Because a lot of young talent is coming along with their innovative ideas, and then they are getting funding, seed funding from the government, and making a benchmark or setting a benchmark of startup industry. So governments, had said something and it has already been delivered. So that graphic is communicated in very simple word. That is what I was saying. Our role is to communicate. Usually what happens is, when I was a kid or I was a young person, we were like, no, don't give us the government data. It is very boring. Why do you want me? I don't want to, look into it. It's very heavy. I'll look into it some other time. So basically procrastinating government information. Our role is stop that procrastination. How? We have to create content in a manner that is interactive and that creates an inquisitivity. Wow, this looks nice. This is very clean. Okay, they are saying it very simply. So yes, we have so many languages. So primary our circulating information is English, but we try our level best to communicate in all possible languages, specifically Hindi. And starting forward, we now have in Telugu and Punjabi also. We are rolling out more also. So our key role is to communicate initiatives of government, ensuring authentic and holistic information. So we have always ensured at MyGov, whatever government data we are using, we get it cross-checked by that concerned department or the ministry. Please verify. We are going to post it on social media platforms. We don't want any data that we cannot, claim that it's ours, right? So we, ensure that data is always verified by ministry twice. We do it twice at our end, and then we get it verified from the ministry also at least twice. Then only we share in the public domain. Because otherwise, if any one single wrong data goes into public domain, people will come. You know how media these days are. So I won't go into those details, but yes, ensuring the factuality of it. We cannot play with the data. We have to ensure that whatever data we are sharing, it's authentic. So MyGov also has emerged as an authentic source of government skill related, any scheme related information. Any government announcement, people come to our platform, check it. Okay, it's shared on MyGov. That means it's genuine. It's not fake. A lot of fake things happen in social media when it comes to social media. So to avoid that. And how do we do it? We do it through infographics. We do it through videos. We do it through testimonials. One big thing, as I already told, that fighting fake news and busting myths, like during COVID only, you use this and you will be free of COVID. You don't need to get vaccinated, or you don't need to maintain social distance. No mask is not required. So fighting all those myths. No, this is the genuine information. These are the aims, doctor or the specialist. If they are saying it, please do only these things. Don't get trapped into fake news. Don't get trapped into myths. Please believe in the things that verified scientific information. I'm quoting COVID time and again because COVID was one, period when still it's again coming. I hope it doesn't come again, but it was one period where a lot of fake news was there. And people, when lockdown was there, people were stuck at their homes. They were only scrolling and watching TV, and they didn't know where to go for authentic information. And MyGov ensured that we put out only scientific verified information from AIIMS, from the verified doctors, from the government, from our verified institutions, so that there is no fake news and people get to genuine things. And what we have achieved through vaccination program, it's nowhere in the world you will get an example. The way we get from one WhatsApp click, you will get your certificate into your hand. It's not possible even in the US. So yes, that we claim, but we have achieved that. And we have achieved because people here in the team and people everywhere. I mean, if Team India did it and we have delivered it. So fighting that fake news and busting myths, leveraging all social media platforms, as Shubhoji also said, that yes, we are present in the all big four like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, we are there, but we are also on like, Roposo like Indian apps or Chingari. These are some cool. All these Indian apps also, we are also there. So it is very necessary to be available on across all social media platforms. Say for LinkedIn, professionals go to LinkedIn to share their professional achievements, or they go there to showcase their professional skills or what they are, looking forward to upskill or something like that. But when we go to Facebook, it's more of, oh, I went to I was on a family trip, I took a leave, and I went with my family to say Goa, or I went to Badrinath, and putting those photos and talking with your friends, getting connected with your old time school friends or college friends. That is what Facebook is all about, the bondings, the social bondings. It's less of professional, more of personal and social bondings. But when it comes to Twitter, it's something else. It's more of a breaking the news or breaking the information to everyone. Twitter has emerged as the breaking news part of the news channels. First you go to Twitter. Okay, Twitter mein aa gaya hai kya? Okay, yes, it has come on Twitter. That means it's genuine. So each one of us do that. And then obviously connecting with influencers to increase reach. Influencers is not only about talking, big sports people or the movie people. They are not only the influencers. You will see that a lot of apps and new people who are only on social media, they are Instagram influencers, there are YouTube influencers, they are Twitter influencers who are only on that particular social media platform, but they have huge number of followers. And when they say something, their own followers trust them. Yes, this is my people. So there is one very small, I think college going kid. I think he's 21 or 22. He's from Prayagraj. I was just scrolling through Instagram because we were looking for some influencers, on Instagram. And he shares small videos on Instagram reels and about various places in Prayagraj, what is happening, Magh Mela and all those stuff. And he has around, I think, 1 million followers, and it's huge. So now what has happened, he has become one of the biggest influencers when it comes to Prayagraj. So now even the local all big businesses, even if there is a shop opening or a restaurant opening, they're calling him and partnering with him. They're not investing in newspaper advertisement. He has emerged as a social media Instagram influencer. And when something goes on is, obviously the traffic goes to there. So for that particular micro level influencer, one district, but now his reach is growing. And because he's on Instagram, Prayagraj ka all small stories, he's increasing or percolating into his age group people. So that has also, emerged as a big thing. So connecting with the influencer, it has two levels, micro and macro. Macro is like Virat Kohli, I would say, or Amitabh Bachchan. When we talk about Amitabh Bachchan, any government ad or the polio ad, we all remember Do Boond Zindagi Ki. So वो इतना ज़्यादा repetition हुआ था उसका, and it was so much repeated, and anybody could say Do Boond Zindagi Ki. So certainly it would take our mind, okay, yes, he's talking about, it's about polio, the polio drops. So it's the impact, the continuous population of messaging, very simple wording, Do Boond Zindagi Ki, and a big face of an influencer. But we know that we cannot always go for a big influencer. That is why these micro influencers are now emerging, who are very specific to their own region, maybe a district, maybe a state, maybe few states, but they are very popular, and message percolation through them is very impactful, I would suggest. So, and also being aware is know what is happening. It cannot happen that something happened, some technology, some new tech has come, and we are planning on it, but we are not aware that it's already available. So we have to be aware what is happening around us. Obviously, the last point, building capacity and capability. If we can afford to, and if it is possible, then we should hire specialists into social media. Otherwise, we should keep holding such training sessions so that we can share our experiences and learn, we can learn mutually and increase our capability at the same time. Moving on to third, you would like to carry forward? So putting out information is not communication. So what is the difference between PIB press release and what MyGov does? So PIB press releases are basically, they contain all the same information that is written here in an infographic that celebrates 74th Republic Day, these things. So it's the same thing. Information is there in the press release. So why a digital communication? Why going into infographic? Why making videos? Not everybody is reading PIB press releases. Yes, newspapers and media houses take out the stories from there, they publish it. But can we ensure that everyone is reading? Not many people are buying print newspapers these days. Everyone is, have their news app. Okay, I have this app, I'll read here on my phone. So that is why we need you to utilize this USP of social media. That is what the difference is. It's not about long sentences. We are using, if you can see in this graphic, we are using this one. There are 4 pictures. And why 4 pictures? Because 26th January is approaching, the Republic Day is approaching. MyGov has actually started and initiated an activity where, they can share India's achievement. For somebody, say a schoolgirl, say some remote part of Jharkhand, for her, the achievement is that now his father doesn't have to go by a bullock cart or maybe a cycle because the pitch road is there and now the state bus or the bus is coming. So that smooth transportation is the achievement for her. But somebody in Mumbai or Delhi, the achievement is that, okay, RRTS is coming up. So I don't have to rent out a house in Delhi. I will have a smooth, conveyance. I will do an up down from Meerut to Delhi. So these are the things, but that is what we wanted to know through this activity. If you can see this graphic, celebrate 74th Republic Day, share your creative ideas to highlight India's achievements. So people can come with their ideas, design whatever they want to do. They will submit here. We will, team will analyze here and then we'll announce the winners. These are the best of ideas that we have really liked. This also helps us to know and realize, okay, apart from what we are thinking and what we are populating the message, what the people are thinking. MyGov is citizen engagement platform. So what exactly for citizen the achievement of India is, that this activity is all about. Maybe for us, all these big infra projects, the big expressways, but for the citizen, it is something different. To know that this activity has been carrying on, and what better than a Republic Day, Republic Day is the best, I would say, occasion to have such an activity where a citizen can share his own idea of achievement of India, right? Would you like to carry forward?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Garima. I mean, you've been taking this forward. Where can I see mine?
Yeah, that's correct medium of communication.
Okay, so as Garima was saying, just to take off from, how many slides do we have? This is the 4th slide.
Third slide.
Okay, so, what we basically do is demystify government communication for citizens, especially young citizens who consume communication in a very different way. This morning, I was just chatting with some of my team members, the way we saw communication in college, which is say, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years back. It's completely different from the way young people consume communication now. Now they are into GIFs, now they are into emojis, now they are into, Instagram reels and so on, right? So our challenge being from the government is how do we speak their language, We can of course do a, hum jo tender banate hai, waise karke, we can just push it out, but then people do not engage with us, especially young people. And what kind of a huge demographic dividend we have. I think 60 or 70% of this country is under 25 or 30, something like that. So that is the generation, that is the demographic that we are talking to, and not just urban people who go to English medium schools, but also tier 2, tier 3 cities. Now 5G is coming. We will be going to places like Tezpur, right? Tezpur is going to have 5G. So what is the world going to look like, especially a young Indian citizens world, right? So that is what we kind of keep as our mantra, our sutra at the heart of whatever we do, right? So yes, we stay away from what is called propaganda. We try and do engaging stories that, kind of promote the idea and especially, emotionally connect the idea of a new India for new citizens. That is what we do, right? And of course, there is language localization. Garimaji told you we are opening 13 handles in different languages. MyGov is already present in 18 states. I think 18 or 19. Yeah.
19.
And we plan to go to all states by the end of this year, 2023, right? Okay, next one, please. So just a couple of examples that we do. Okay, so I mean, yes, we can say, there are two graphics that you see on the left it's just an announcement. 17 September 2021, as of itna PM, India has administered 2.5 crore vaccine doses, right? It is just a text. There is nothing else. Koi emotion nahi hai, nothing hai. There is no drama in it. So what we have done is, there is a digital clock, and it says 11:59, and it says 2.5 crore vaccinations, 250 crore vaccinations as of itna time, and so many doses per hour, so many doses per minute, so many doses per second. So we dramatize a very simple Sarkari announcement. Okay. And it gets more engagement, likes or views or shares. This was made for mostly WhatsApp, actually. It was, very much, shared on WhatsApp. Next one. Some more examples. So, as you can see, we have taken what is essentially text, very boring, sometimes data, and we have turned it, for example, Agnipath after 4 years. We have, if you look at the look and feel, okay, it is very carefully made for young people who like reading comic books, who like reading graphic novels, war stories, something like that. Uska language mein, uska visual language we have used, right? In Instagram or Facebook, where everyone is, talking about itna rural households connected and it's very boring, we have used, font 51%, in the water kind of thing. So these are just some examples, right? We follow certain templates and sometimes we do not follow templates, right? Okay. Next one. Some more about, the big campaigns that are happening, LIFE, tourism, the bigger themes, the bigger narratives, which are, the economy, which is sports, which is Atmanirbhar, which is, as Garimaji was saying, G20 and so on, right? And there are a lot of videos also, which I cannot show you right now, but, that is what it is, right? So we use a lot of videos and GIFs also. These are all, very nice stories, actually. I wish I could show you, but yeah. So, frequently what happens is, what we do on social media is covered by the newspapers. So this is one example. So instead of, I remember 10 years back, social media was called, oh, wo to yahan se utha ke social media link share karta. Now it's with MyGov, it's becoming the opposite because it's seen as the voice of the government. Very frequently our infographics are used by, everyone, even TV channels show our infographics sometimes, right? Carry on. Yeah. Okay, now I will get into a little bit of theoretical thing to continue with what Garimaji was saying in the first 2 or 3 slides. So we take what is called a whole of government approach. It is not just MyGov, it is the government. MyGov might be the content driver, this content disseminator, distributor, but we work with all ministries. We work with, PMO, even the Honorable Prime Minister retweets our content sometimes, right? So if you put, since, I am, as you saw my, resume, I have a private sector background, and I can tell you with, complete confidence, the kind of reach that the government of India has on social media from a whole of government, point of view. It is far bigger than the top 3, digital media advertisers in India. If you take these FMCGs or whatever you call them, you put together their advertising budgets, Hamara reach is far more than their biggest, $1 billion kind of advertising budgets. And this is something the government of India is extremely proud of. This government from 2014, we have put, social technology, I will call it, I will not call it social media, as, one important pillar of the communication that the government does with this government is very transparent, open, and it's willing to listen. It's willing to talk to young people in their language, not our language, right? So the world's largest organic digital footprint. Yes, I have mentioned this paid campaign worth crores. And yeah, the only thing is, just a note of warning, everyone must be on the same page. Sometimes what happens is, a particular ministry or a department doesn't know what is happening, in spite of repeated, reminders. So the entire campaign goes back. So it is very imperative that everyone works together, complete transparency. So which is why I use, WhatsApp a lot, just to make sure that everyone is in. And of course, there is, I think, Samvad, the government social media platform. We are just beginning to use it. Hopefully, we will move completely from WhatsApp to Samvad at some point. These, I will not get into too much. The data might be slightly old, but basically, we have some of the highest, users, in India on Twitter. MyGov on Twitter is bigger than Twitter in India itself, right? So, what could be a bigger joke, right? And we are growing, but we are under no illusion that we have finished our journey in a country of, I think, 700 or 800 million internet users, mobile internet users. We have a long way to go, which is why, our CEO who has just joined, Akash Tripathi sir, he's, from the services. So he is very keen that we go to regional, colleges. We have something called the Campus Ambassador Program. We have the Bharat Yatra Program. So there are a lot of these offline, non-online programs that we are doing, but we are creating content and putting it back into social media. So our goal is to, currently, I think it's about 2.9 million registrations. Our goal at the end of this year is to go to 10 crore, at least 100 million, right? This is, a lot of things that are happening at MyGov. Every second, there are more than 2,000 post views, more than 2,000 people see our content and so on. This is slightly dated also, but, just to give you an impression that there's a lot of buzz happening at MyGov. Next one. Yeah. So this is, continuing what I said. I will not belabor on this point too much, but, it is very, very important that everyone, in social media, this is especially for social people who are in social media teams across the audience here today. It is very important that everyone is completely transparent and, these small packets of information are open and there for everyone to see, right? And there is a tried and tested mechanism to get, the best information in the shortest amount of time and pushed out without any, because these days, if you look at Twitter, something happens and in 5 seconds it's trending, everyone knows. So what is the role of social media here? So one, we have to be fast, and second, we have to give relevant, meaningful content also. It's not that we can just copy paste something that is happening somewhere, right? What is the government point of view on what is happening? That is also important. So we need to connect all dots and connect them very fast and very transparent. Next one, please. Yeah, quick. This is one example of speed. So there was this incident at the airport during COVID times where, a news channel, perhaps not known for not being very friendly to the government. Anyway, that is my opinion. Took a picture of these, oxygen containers and said, nothing is happening, and they go kitna whatever something, and CBIC, immediately retweeted, this is wrong. This was cleared by Delhi Customs within hours, right? So immediately, the Honorable Finance Minister's team, pushed it out, within a matter of minutes. This means what? This means, Nirmala Sitharaman ma'am's team is very connected with what is happening, right? Uska social media team, they're sitting in front of a monitoring dashboard. They know exactly what is happening, what relevant is happening, and they're completely up to speed, right? Lot of resources that we use at MyGov. We do not exist in a ivory tower or a silo or something. So we take a lot of information to stay up to date. If you come to MyGov, and all of you are welcome, we have 4 or 5 TVs, which are on all channels, Hindi, English, regional channels. So we know what is happening. All of us are on Twitter, on our mobile phones, not just our desktops. We know what news is breaking. We are also a news website, a news channel portal in a sense, news breaking. So, there is PIB, there is Twitter, Facebook, and there are many other things. We have a huge army of influencers also, micro influencers, as Garimaji was saying a little earlier, who share information with us almost on a real-time basis, right? This is the larger ecosystem, the MyGov ecosystem. So, in the middle is a website, but it's also, supported by all platforms, including ShareChat, Roposo. In fact, I want to share a little insight with you. The Indian apps have far more engagement than the Western apps, than Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. ShareChat, Roposo, Koo have far more engagement, 5 times, 10 times sometimes, I don't know what is the reason. Maybe they are new, so people are just jumping in and, consuming our content. Or maybe, the kind of audience of the future, which is tier 2, tier 3, smaller cities, smaller town, they engage with content a little more than people in the urban centers. I don't know what is the exact reason. Could be a mix of both, right? Just move on. Next one. Yeah, this is over here. Yeah.
Distribution.
So this is what we do. Dissemination is basically posting. You can call it posting if you like, distribution. So, for us, distribution is not just about posting, but it's very technical at a point. We have different databases of email IDs. eSampark, as you know, is one of the world's largest email databases. We have, millions and millions of phone numbers. We send a lot of mailers to specific target groups. Okay, we are not a spray and pray. We are not a blast karke chale jao. We are not that. We do very minute targeting, messaging. Okay, we put the basically we put the audience, the different kinds of audience in the middle. Those people are heroes for us. So all our content is tailored to specific audiences. Like you saw that. That army mission something, it's tailored to that teenager kind of audience, right? But economy will be tailored to a slightly different. In fact, we are closely, as every year, this year also, we are working closely with the Ministry of Finance. I cannot tell you all details, but, we are targeting our communication to specific groups who are interested in the budget. So it could be professional classes like us, but it also could be housewives, it could be students, it could be startup, people in startups, MSMEs. So, हम जो content बनाता है, it is tailor made for these different audiences. ऐसे नहीं कि one size fits all. The next one. Okay. Capacity building is very important, and I will ask Garimaji. In fact, Garimaji has been with MyGov from almost day one. I joined a little later. I've been here for about 4 or 5 years, but Garimaji was there right from the beginning. So I think she's in a better position to tell you, share with you how this capacity building happened at MyGov. And Garimaji might also share that when she walked in, there was nothing. There was not even a chair at MyGov. So carry on.
So I would say that it was working at MyGov was more of a startup kind of experience. So when I joined here, I came from a complete corporate background. Who has never worked in government. So, and there were no tables, as Shubhoji said, no chairs. Basically, a room was shown to us that you have to, start from here. So we said, so, but where is the infra? So basic infra, we need this. Basic infra is the tables, chairs, and laptops, and proper running internet connection. That will be you will be provided with, but you start the work. So starting from there, we were only initially 10 people. And then we increased our team to 30, inviting suggestions and then we decided, okay, let's focus on first building the MyGov brand, start with the MyGov website and the mobile app. And then citizen engagement is all about inviting and opening and providing multiple opportunities in regard to different issues through different activities to citizens so that they can share their whatever they feel like. Whether that is a suggestion, whether that is an idea or whatsoever. Yes, we are not a grievance portal, but often we do receive grievances and we forward it to the concerned ministry. But we ensure that majority of the time when I joined here, I was 8 years back, I was younger. So I always had this thing that government never listens. where to speak, where to share my ideas and where to give my suggestions. Because I don't like this particular policy, and I think if it would have been done this way, it would have impacted more people. For that, we created this MyGov. And now, if you will see and go through the MyGov website or our social media platforms, there are multiple activities. Even a logo competition is open to citizens. And for, we think that what is this, why a logo competition? But when a citizen is involved in that logo, he thinks, yes, I was involved and I know that particular tagline and this new policies government is coming up with, and I think it should communicate this way. Like for Swachh Bharat campaign, if you all remember when this program was launched by the PM on 2nd of October, we created this activity of designing the logo of Swachh Bharat campaign and the tagline, and somebody from Maharashtra won it, and PM launched that thing. So it became a whole of a campaign, and as PMCs and as we all know, Swachhata or the cleanness became a campaign, a people-led campaign. More than the government, it was the common people who were involved. No, the platforms are now clean. Let's not throw it, out. Usually, people what they while driving, kuch bhi khaya hai, or we had water and they throw it out their windows. But it's not happening. If the parents are not doing, the kids are saying, what are you doing? Please don't do it. Keep it in the car. We'll throw it in a dustbin. So these behavioral changes, these takes time. But yes, only a team can do it. And for that, capacity building is very much required. So first, what is your aim or objective of your department? You know that, okay, there are these activities in my department. I basically need at least 1 or 2 graphic designer, at least 1 or 2 video people, at least 2 content creators who will do it. We would suggest not to outsource. When you outsource to an agency, they will come with their own, ideology. Yes, they will work according to you, but then they have their own things also. When you hire your own team, you can groom them according to requirement and according to guidelines and the rules and regulations of your department or the ministry. So it is always better to have your own team and not to outsource, because then you have also the command and you can always check. Okay, you have written this. No. In government, we can't communicate this way. Or yes, you can leverage this, but don't do it this way. It may hurt the sentiments of the people. For that particular thing, I would always suggest, and we have always done, that please have your own social media team. Do not outsource this, because that's not going to help. Outsourcing may give you some good idea, but for a long-term goal, it's always better to have your own team. Also, every department needs to have their own team. Please don't hire a 100 people team. Even a 5-member team is good enough to kickstart and have a free flowing social media active channel. 1 or 2 designer, 1 or 2 video people, 1 or 2 social media guy, 2 content creators, and bingo, you are it. You will have a constant flow of social media communication with everything, right? So also this, it can't happen that, okay, I have posted it today, I will post it next week. No, the activity has to be on a daily basis. Whatever you are doing. I will again quote the polio thing. In case of communication, as a communication student, I'll say this, repetitive communication is very necessary to have a BCC or a behavioral change. So even us, if we say we read anything for only once, it's not necessary that we'll remember it. But when we see things continuously in a repetitive mode, then it's somewhere down the line, it's there in our long-term memory, it's getting registered. So to register that particular communication, this is to be done. Or Aadhaar card. Aadhaar is mandatory. Aadhaar is required. You have to give your Aadhaar card for this. You have to give your Aadhaar card for this. So that repetitive communication has enabled each one of us to know that yes, I need an Aadhaar card, but because it is mandatory for availing any kind of government schemes, even if it is mandatory to have anything. I mean, so for any kind of government activity or things, I need an Aadhaar card. How we know it? Because anywhere we go, they ask for an Aadhaar. When we are on TV, Aadhaar is mandatory. Aadhaar is mandatory. That is a repetitive communication through the various forms. So please ensure that your social media handles on any platforms are not idle. something or the other thing that you decide, ask your team to make a content calendar, try, make a content calendar for a month. These are the posts that you are going to generate and create and post. It's not only about ideating, it's also about creating, and it's also about distribution that Shubhoji talked about. Distribution is all about sharing. And sharing not only on social media platforms, also leveraging the WhatsApp or the Telegrams, wherever you want to, wherever your presence, you feel that my target audience is more here. If I talk about BSNL, or that's what I was saying initially, so I would suggest also go for SMS, because SMS may help you a lot. You can go in SMS and with a social media link or your website link, and they can go getting traffic on your website. These are small things, but which create actually big impact. Then close coordination with ministries team. If say MIT is doing a campaign, an organic campaign, as Shubhoji said, Government of India, all the ministry is the biggest organic campaign people. One department, if you or anyone is doing a campaign, please coordinate with all associate sister departments, request them, send us or send all the creatives, create a Google Doc, send the content also that you can tweet this, create a Google Doc, share the link before the tomorrow 9 a.m. we are planning this campaign on this particular social media platform. Please share it, please retweet it, please you yourself share it, or if you're not planning to share, at least retweet it. If you're not doing, please post it on Facebook, but do it. It has to be a team effort. We cannot work in silos. Social media is all about team effort. And anybody in the social media, whosoever is in team or whosoever is coordinating, he or she has to coordinate with all concerned teams so that everyone's pitch in for that campaign, and it's more of an organic. You don't need a paid campaign. Trust me, if everyone joins the campaign, we don't need paid campaigns. There is no requirement, because we are such a huge team. The Team India is big, and we should leverage that. Ensuring full cooperation from officials in sharing data. I mean, that's obvious that I don't need to explain. Also, yes, we are in the digital age, so let's take some personal interest also in social media. So that's the key thing. And last but not the least of this presentation is all about connected, participatory, unified approach to communication. These are the keywords that we work on. When we are into digital, when we are into social media, it's all about keywords, finding out keywords. So connected, yes, we are 24/7 connected. And COVID was a good way also, because nothing stopped. The way we were working in offices, we worked at our homes. So nothing stopped. Why? Because we were connected. Participatory, yes, it's not only about one-way communication, it's also about citizens. And the way we are saying, it has to be a two-way journey. So it has to be participatory. Unified approach to communication. So one department is saying something or else, and other department is something else. So when it comes to communication, it's very much advised and better if we have a unified approach, that yes, if this has to be communicated, let's follow these common guidelines. Definitely creatively we can have the leverage and we can deal with in a different tonality, but the broad guidelines have to be common. It has to be followed in sync with across the department. So that unified approach of communications, I would suggest, not only a suggestion, but rather to be made mandatory, so that we can avoid all the loopholes or the discrepancies. Freely use available infographics and videos on key government initiatives and policies. So if you see that, okay, I'm not able to create these things, but I could see a similar, what I wanted to share is available on MyGov, or maybe on some other department has shared it. Please use that. That's your property. It's not that MyGov you made it so you can't use it. No, if it is there, you are getting a ready-made content, please use it. There in social media, that's a plus point. If you are getting information or ready-made content, a video or a graphic from any other department that you think that should be communicated through your also channels, please use it. It's no foundations are there. Contribute to content on MyGov to educate and disseminate. Definitely, if you feel like that MyGov should also delve out more content on some particular topics or issue, please share with us. We would love to have more of it. There is, the doors are all open. You can communicate anyways. Retweet relevant tweets and content regarding key initiatives that we have already discussed. Cabinet decisions are very important. So, cabinet decisions, when we and MyGov ensures that moment cabinet press release and the press conference happens, our infographics are also released. Why people must be aware what the government has decided of late to make people. So, I would suggest you also to join hands and to distribute and to your own followers so that more people are aware. The whole agenda or the whole aim or the objective is to make citizens aware of their rights, what government is doing, what all they can avail, also to make them feel, you are aware. So you cannot be, somebody cannot take, you for granted. Nobody can fool you because you're already aware of the information, what government is doing or what is happening or what is my right, what all government scheme I can avail of. So if I am aware, definitely I will not get into the corruption part, but I will not pay a bribe because I know this is my right and nobody can ask me for a bribe. So making people aware is the key task. Coordinate with other social media handles that we have already discussed. Real-time updates. Social media is all about timing. We know the news has broken now, so it has to go today. It can't be tomorrow because tomorrow something other will break up. So if you're not doing it today, it's lost. Social media is all about real-time updates. We have to be on our war footing. It's always like if the news is there, at the max within 2 hours, our content should go out. Not beyond that. Otherwise, we will lose on that trend. And build a team achieving the government's team. It's all about team. The team delivers the result. Build your teams, enhance the capabilities, and bingo, that's it. That is all. So anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think that more or less covers it. And, the only thing that I would like to say is, take small steps, but take them fast. There were some mistakes, and this is for, I understand there are some teams out here which already have their social media, program in place. For those that do not, but, wondering what to do, where to start, there is too much things to do. But, don't get nervous. Take small steps and you will learn very fast. Okay. And the second thing I want to say is, take information, just to highlight this second point, which is freely used available infographics. Just make sure it is from a government source. We are very careful not to take from, even if it's the top newspapers or, TV channels of the country or the world for that matter. We are very careful to take only something which a ministry or minister has said. We do not take,
non-government things.
Non-government things. Also, there's a lot of speculative things which look very real, but actually they're speculation. So we have made this mistake earlier and we have learned from our lessons. So I think that is it. In case if anyone has any questions, we'll be very happy to answer right away.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you, Garima ji, and thank you, Subho ji. And definitely people may have some questions. I request that if in case you have any question, kindly write in the chat box. In the meantime, may I ask one question?
Yes, so please.
Yeah, okay. So in DOT, we have from headquarters, there are 2-3 handles. One is of USOF, other is NBM. And in the field, all the LSA, all the 22 LSAs are having social media handles. And our CCA unit, the finance unit, is also having in every LSA one social media handle on every platform. So many a times what we feel is that some particular information is to be amplified, right? So suppose DOT headquarters put certain infographics, which is very good and we want to amplify. So I would request that if you can give some tips around it, Garima ji and Subho ji. Yeah.
Then I would suggest, sir, if you are connected to all the LSA teams, so if you have a WhatsApp group of all the social media teams within your department, or if you can share on that and request everyone to share the same infographic. That would be one thing. Also, you can, tag few people if you're sharing, say, on Instagram or Facebook, and they have their, pages there. You can tag them so that it is simultaneously shared on their pages also. So these are few basic tips. I would suggest if you have a WhatsApp group, please share there so that everyone gets it instantly that this is an infographic of high priority and everyone must share that. So that should be shared in the WhatsApp first thing. Also tagging these people now and their various handles. So that once one is tagged, they will RT it and for the bigger reach. So these are two quickest thing to implement that you can go with.
Yeah, thank you, Garima ji. So thank you so much, Subhaji and Garima ji, for wonderful session. The wonderful outreach program which MyGov is doing is an example for all of us, and a lot of things you shown. Your 60-minute slide that in 60 minutes, what all happens in MyGov was really a wonderful thing to see.
Actually, 60 seconds is 1 minute.
Yeah, correct. So, and you also gave a kind of a advice that one should have our own team of social media people, rather, I mean, if you want to hire, you can hire infographics fellow or video fellow, animator, artist and all, and some more content writer, but it should have own team. In DOT, most of the teams are in-house team, even they have not hired as of now more number of infographics, etc. So maybe perhaps that need to be done. So thank you so much. And going forward, in case I would request, there are few questions in the chat box. May I request Garima ji if you can answer there itself so that
Sure.
in the interest of time, I can invite our next speaker.
We'll do that.
So Garima ji, if you can unshare the screen so that I invite
I'm doing
the next speaker. So next in line, we have Siti Garg. Siti Garg is from National Health Authority. Siti Garg has got 15 plus years of experience in digital communications. In fact, she was with me in Aadhaar for 2-3 years, handling social media team. So over to you, Siti. Can you connect?
Yes, sir. I hope everyone is able to see my screen.
Not yet, not yet.
I'll do that again, sir. Is my screen visible now?
So it's blank coming, so not yet. Maybe broadband speed is a problem.
Okay.
Maybe you can disconnect and unshare and share it again.
Sure, sir. I just did the same. Is it visible now?
It's the blank screen which we see. Should I?
Yes, sir. That will help, sir.
Should I share from my side? Is the same slides which you shared earlier, or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's the same one, sir.
Yeah, just a moment. You can just unshare so that
I've done that, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I hope you can see my screen. Just a moment. Siti, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay. So, Siti, you can locally connect if you're not able to see, and we are on the first slide.
Okay, sir. So are we on basics of social media? Yes, I can see now. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
You can just
so-
tell me when to be next slide to be.
Sure,
okay.
sir. Sure, sir. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much to Ashok, sir. It is actually a privilege to actually be a part of this training. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking out time for this session. And we are discussing something very important, very critical in today's time, which is leveraging social media to connect with the audience. So I started my social media journey way back in 2012 when people were not even aware that social media is a kind of a channel for communicating with the audience. So that is when my social media journey started. I have worked across various brands in the private sector, across various segments like technology, travel, healthcare, and everything. And now, for the past 8 years, I have got the opportunity to work on the biggest brand, biggest organic conversation platforms that any digital marketing person can think of, which is government accounts, Government of India accounts, to be specific. Over here, we would be highlighting various important communication methods that we can use, the available tools. I understand that we have the restriction of buying expensive tools or even build, because we can either use our resources to build a team, which is more critical, like Shubho sir and Garima had just mentioned in their session. And then we also have to think about how we can buy a specific tool. So I'll be covering that as well. Sir, requesting you to please move to the next slide. So the very next one. Yes, so if we'll start with the basics, exactly what we can do. So as we know, social media is the fastest IEC tool. IEC, as I'll just reiterate here, information, education, and communication. So government, we don't say marketing and brand building, we say information, education, and communication. So what we do, very short and direct messaging, like what Garima had shown. We have to ensure that it is not boring to read, because obviously we have the young audience to be our first line of communication. And for long form content, we all have newspapers, we have the TV debates and all. So second one, and very, very important for a government handle, is a neutral messaging. We have to understand this. This is not our personal account. We cannot favor one particular organization. We cannot have a political tune to our messaging. We cannot have religious tune, or we cannot have a regional thought favoring from our messaging. And again, when we are starting, as well as when we are growing our audience, one of the most important aspects is listen and then speak. So by this I mean that first, like let's say you are present only on Twitter. So what I would suggest is go to different platforms like Instagram and Facebook and try to read through the messaging or the existing conversations related to your services, related to your area, or related to your particular ministry. Listen to those kind of conversation and accordingly devise your messaging. So when so I come back to the days of when we started the digital marketing, or basically the social media platforms for Aadhaar. So this is 2015, in fact mid 2016. So initial 1 month, what we did was we researched through all the different platforms. We searched various keywords related to Aadhaar, and we tried to understand the kind of conversations that were happening, and the problems that people were facing, the myths that were going around related to Aadhaar. And we started devising our campaigns, our content according to that. So organized messaging is what we got from the third point, where we were doing topic wise campaigns. So we knew most of the people have, so they have created their Aadhaar, but they have issues in updating Aadhaar. So in fact, over a period of 3 years, our most common queries were related to how to update particular fields in Aadhaar. So we started creating topic-wise campaigns, weekly campaigns, or let's say 10 messages together, which were talking about how to update various details in Aadhaar. And we used to post them as not in a single go, but 1 to 2 posts per day, because initially the audience was, very new for us. And if we used to bombard them with so many messaging, so we saw there was a drop in our follower base. So once we reach that stage where people are interested in our content, we can go for more frequency. But initially we went with only 1 message per day and across all different platforms. And we made topic-wise campaigns. We segregated all these campaigns in forms of Facebook albums. So if you go to the Facebook page of Aadhaar and go to the photos part and albums, you'll see topic-wise albums listed there. So we were building a content repository. So on different platforms, if someone, let's say if a particular user were asking us, how do I update these details in Aadhaar, we used to share the link of that particular Facebook album so that that user can get complete information in one particular format only. So the next was, so now we have built a sizable audience. We are connecting with our audience. We do platform-wise messaging. So let's say on Twitter, small form content works better than, and let's say even a video form works better on Twitter. We can add links to our captions to our tweet messages. There is a shorter message that goes with each picture that we post on Twitter. For Facebook, we can keep a longer caption. We can again add links, but for Instagram, we cannot add links. So what do? We add that link in the bio. So, but if you are posting some 4 posts on Instagram per day, how do we add 4 links in the bio? I'll come to that part. You have tools available, and the best part is they are free. So the last one that needs to be covered. Can we go back? Yes, sir. So the last one and the most important one, where you will actually get the users to come back to you, is recognize their effort. So as a user, imagine you have a problem in, let's say you are living in a village in Tamil Nadu, and you have some problem in your local, with your local telecom service provider. So you actually took the pain to search for them online, search for their official handle, and then actually go and connect with them. So that entire effort needs to be recognized. That person is not coming there to irritate you or, with a propaganda. They are coming there for help, for genuine help. This person might be irritated, they might be using some bad language, but that is what we really need to, handle that, and we need to be sensitive about it. So our response should be accordingly. So next we come to what works. So this is totally based on my experience of the 3 government accounts that I have handled, which is UIDAI, Aadhaar, and initial days of National Broadband Mission, and now National Health Authority. So updates of any kinds. So these are announcements related, event related, infographics on achievements. So let's say we are talking about the number of Aabhas generated in the country. So these have worked for us like anything. So we are working on, so there is a new service developed in Aadhaar, like we launched the Mast Aadhaar. So that announcement gives us another level of reach for our content online. Infographics, of course, like even MyGov team mentioned, infographics have worked really well for us. So it is actually putting a huge information in a very concise and more consumable format. That is exactly what is in an infographic is. Or a simple post, a normal message can be done very easily, but an infographic requires a whole new level of thinking. That's why the importance of the team, which MyGov team has also stressed. We come to the processes. So processes are more like how to update Aadhaar, how to get Ayushman card, how to get Aabha number, or how to, get my bill submitted. So these are the services that my organization is offering to the users, that how to part, putting it in the form of a static image, in a GIF or a video format, all of this is actually absolutely necessary for me to put that right information out there. So in our initial Aadhaar days, what I will tell you is, so there were times when people used to say that for mobile number update, you need to go through this pin, this pin, this pin. So those were all myths happening. So we understood a very simple thing, that to communicate to the people, getting the right information out from an authentic source is more important than anything else. So we've made infographics. We used to regularly post infographics related to this, GIFs related to this. We also have updated videos related to this on our YouTube channel. Mythbusters are again more not just an important communication or content, but it was also a responsibility being representatives of government. This is also a responsibility, because fact check things are something that really needs to be done from authentic sources, considering the kind of impact that these unreliable messages have on the psyche of people. So the importance of this is so much that PIB fact check is a separate entity in itself. So Press Information Bureau, they have their own PIB fact checks particular handle. So if you come across any fake message on WhatsApp being circulated on WhatsApp, which you think, so let's say Indian national anthem has been awarded the best national anthem in the world tag. This was a fake message. So all you can do is just send that message to PIB. They will do the fact check for you. And once you have that, you can make it into a post and share it in your network. As simple as that. So someone else did your work and you just propagated that information. That is also an authentic source. Going forward, what we can do is, so next we can do beneficiary stories. So beneficiary stories are essentially, so when I was actually going through the existing content that many of the handles are already doing, so that they're doing some ground level stories. So I came across this one particular story where some person has really is providing the PM Vani service in his area, and what has been his experience. He's sharing that, and that particular video itself has generated a lot of communication, a lot of conversation for that particular LSA. So that is, these kinds of stories have always worked. And this is a very simple form of content that is easy to create. A simple mobile phone video recorded from a mobile phone can also work. So relevant news with the right caption and link. So a news may have 6 paragraphs, and out of that, let's say 2 lines from the 3rd paragraph is something that you need to highlight. So what you do is you pick those 2 lines and add a read more link and give link to the news. Also, if you want to say for more information on the service, go back to our website. So you can add that link as well. So here what you did, you highlighted particular information, you gave kind of a snippet of that, like what various news apps like InShots do right now. And you also gave a link to your own website. So that also becomes quite relevant. So unique messaging. So why I say stress on unique messaging is, let's say we are doing kind of a happy Diwali message, and we put our logo in there and we just let it go. So that is not a unique messaging. So if we replace the logo of your particular service or your particular area and we replace it with, let's say, a PepsiCo logo, so if the messaging is still working, that means we as content creators have not done our job. So the messaging has to be unique. So like we did, so like in our case, for Aadhaar, we used to have Aadhaar specials on each occasion. So so a holy message was Rang Anek, Aadhaar Sirf Ek. So that Rang was various languages spoken across the country. So आपकी भाषाएं अनेक, but आधार, पहचान का आधार सिर्फ एक. So that was our holy message. Similarly, we used to do messages for each and every occasion, which were unique to Aadhaar. उसमें से even if we remove the logo of Aadhaar, it will still speak of Aadhaar and it'll be unique to Aadhaar. That is exactly what we'll strive to do for at least major occasions. So largely, if we count, we have some 5-6 major occasions across the year for which we can build this unique content. We can give that extra effort. Consistency, again, minimum 1 post per day to keep the audience engaged. So if we are posting 1 today and we post something after 10 days and then something after 12 days, so what happens is people lose interest. In fact, the algorithm of various social media platforms is such that, so let's say if I'm a user of Facebook, if I have not seen one particular post from an account I follow, I've not seen their post or not engaged in their post for, let's say, another 2 days, so it will stop showing me those posts from that account, even if I follow them. So now I'll break that sad news to you. For Facebook, only about 16% of your followers get to see your content on a daily basis. So as content creators, you would want to be in that 16%. For that, consistency is the key. So now, so to amplify, very simple thing. You all have your WhatsApp groups. You all get, you are all following each other. Keep an eye out on important messages and tweets from the biggies, and you can just retweet them, reshare them. Another important thing that comes from my previous experiences. So when we were working with Aadhaar, so over there, the Mighty team had a very active WhatsApp group. So the good, and we right now in health as well, so the MOHFW, the Health and Family Welfare Team, so there are several accounts under MOHFW. So we also have a WhatsApp group. The difference is in the Mighty one, so the people who actually used to manage the social media accounts, they were a part of that WhatsApp group. In the MOHFW one, it's the senior officials. So by that time, that information comes down to the people who are actually managing the social media, the time relevance is gone. So the fact that Garima also stressed on social media, for social media, everything is time relevant. Everything is based on real-time updates. So you cannot afford that delay. So for that, I would really urge you all to create a WhatsApp group of only the people who manage the social media accounts. That will give you the engagement that you require. So now what I promise. So these are the available tools that you can use. These are free to use tools that work. So over the last 8 years, me, my team, all of us have used them blatantly and have really helped. And these have really helped. So, so next slide, please. So can we move to the next slide, please? Is everyone able to see my screen now?
Yeah, Shruti, it's visible.
Okay. I'll quickly come to this slide. Okay, the first one is, where can you find good quality images and vectors from Indian context? So obviously you have Shutterstock and all, but they have foreigner images. They don't have very much Indian centric images, and all those images are also very expensive. So if you are being the content managers or social media people in that particular organization, if you're not getting the budget to buy it, or because of various restrictions that we have, if you're not able to buy those images, these are the free tools that you can use. And they have worked amazingly for us. The free pick is like our holy grail that we use on a daily basis. I'll share these all, the entire presentation with you. The free editing tools that you can use, Pixlr is my favorite. That's why I've put it on top. Then you have Canva. Adobe itself gives a free Express tool, where you can do everything from working on videos to converting a normal image to a GIF to QR code generation and PDF editing and all. So these QR codes, we are using QR codes in almost everything, every creative that we make. We add the links to the relevant web pages through a QR code on our image itself. We are very keen on adding QR code everywhere. Now for other useful tools, these are where you can download any YouTube video and then you can use them, edit them and repurpose them. PDF editing, obviously for regional languages, India typing is what we use. This is really good for all the spelling corrections. So let's say Jahaj and Jahaz. So that bindi, j ke niche wala bindi, India typing has actually helped me do that. Google Translate, obviously, केवल स्वयं को ढूंढो, बाकी सब Google पर उपलब्ध है. So Google is the key. Google Alerts. So this is where I saw in the chat window that there was a question where you were asking about where can we find all these fake news circulating. So Google is the answer. Google se पूछो सब बताता है. Social media management tools. So we have Hootsuite, of course, which has been a favorite of all social media managers for so many years. So this gives you multi-platform posting option. So from one particular dashboard, you can post to all the platforms that you have linked. So it supports Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, all the major platforms. So the Indian platforms are also slowly coming on to all these commonly used platforms. And this also gives you good options for scheduling the posts. So like if we have a fixed content calendar, we can schedule our posts. So if you go to the Facebook page or a Twitter page and you go to the analytics part, you'll see that there are particular time frames in which you're used to handle. So when we went through all our Facebook posts and we were going through what kind of content is our audience engaging with the most, so we found a very unique thing. So all the posts which had images with them, which had images of a nice scenery and which were blue toned or which had some kind of water body in it, gave us the maximum engagement. So some very interesting facts like this. So you can plan your content accordingly. So do go through the analytics, do go to the platform insights. And if you still want to explore more, these platforms can also help in the analytics. So when we were talking about the Instagram part, where we talked about how you can give multiple links. So Linktree is your answer. Linktree is something where you can add multiple links in one platform. So this, if you can see my screen, we have created this Linktree for Ayushman Bharat, which is our account at NHA. So YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook are the 5 platforms where we are present. And we've added links and also the public app and everything. So we've added this Linktree. All we need to do is we need to share this URL over the various WhatsApp groups that if you are still not following NHA, please follow us here. And all our links go in one single platform. So coming back to our slide. So later can also do this for you. But Linktree is something that we have been using quite a lot. So some important points now. I'm sorry if I'm going fast, please do correct me. And also you can add in your questions anywhere if you want.
Yeah, it's okay, Siti, go ahead. So the slide which is coming is important points if you like to cover.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So these are, so now we have our tools in place. We know what to do with our social media accounts. Now there are certain important points that we really need to keep in mind. So this is, we need to create unique content like MyGov team has also mentioned. So this this should be messages that is relevant to your audience. So let's say if you are handling one particular region in Northeast, or let's say in Tripura. So over there, the content that you share should be relevant to the Tripura audience. Or like in this case, this is MyGov Assam. So they are talking about the CCTV surveillance in Guwahati on this Bahini River. So that is important, that you are doing the messaging which is relevant to your audience. So understand, national audience is great, but your regional audience is more important. Same way, in this one, Northwestern Railway, we see they are tagging various national handlers, ministers, and key officials. So if you see all these tags here, so this helps increase audience, and it gives you the necessary eyeballs for propagating the messaging further. Again, I stress the fact, maintain neutrality. So any messages which you think might hurt sentiments, refrain from sharing that. So again, sorry, I think I messed up the slide. Yeah, okay. Yes. Refrain from sharing any particular post that might hurt sentiments. Maintain your neutrality, even political neutrality. So you might think about this thing, like this particular achievement, is it the government's achievement or is it one political party's achievement? So ask yourself that question before posting it. If it is a good governance practice, if it is a government's achievement, please do go ahead and share it. So this is, so when we are talking about the Mythbusters, so PIB fact check is what I talked about. So this was a notice about BSNL that was being circulated, that such notices are being sent to everyone. So PIB did this fact check. This is exactly the kind of format that we can do. All these kind of infographics can be made in the free to available tools that I shared earlier. These can be easily made, and this is not a very big thing. So fact checking the messages that are relevant to your audience, do that, and that will help you build the credibility as well, your own credibility. So topical content. So over here you see Delhi Police doing this. So it was Rajesh Khanna's birth anniversary. And so they simply did not post a picture of Rajesh Khanna and say wishing birth anniversary of Rajesh Khanna. No, what they did was they added a very relevant message to it. So drive responsibly. That was their major message in this. So because Rajesh Khanna was trending around that time, so they customized their messaging accordingly. And this actually works with the young audience as well. So I'll come to some interesting stuff in the following slides. So this is engaging audience. We are learning from the leaders who have actually done a good job in engaging the audience. So young audience, like Shubho sir and Garima mentioned. So memes is a language. Memes are basically funny images or something that every youth connects with. So the biggest achievement for any person in media is if the content that they have created comes to that level that they don't have to ask people to share that content, but rather people start sharing it themselves because it is so interesting. So Mumbai Police did this. This particular meme contest had also happened. So if you were to go through, okay, I came back to this. So if you want to, just have some fun, go through the tweets by Mumbai Police. They are killing it. So from the private side, from the private sector, we have Zomato, we have Blinkit doing an amazing job. And from the government side, we all of us, we look up to Mumbai Police, Delhi Police, and even PIB at times, and Indian Railways. Indian Railways, I'll cover in the coming slides. They are amazing. So Delhi Police, so Vic Cat wedding, because it was trending. So Delhi Police had to be there. So this is what Indian Railways is doing. So even on their platforms, they're using these memes as an important messaging tool, because this, if they simply write, "Yahan pe thukna mana hai," people will spit at the very same spot. So this is what actually gave them the interest. And these are the images. The second image that you see, a Gabbar image, this was posted by some user itself. And this is what they had written: Indian Railways got no chill. So Dekh raha hai Binod. So so Indian Railways had built this Chenab Bridge, They could have simply posted that Chenab Bridge is the highest, it's even, taller than the Eiffel Tower. But this is what gave them better audience. This is what gave them a everlasting impact. And yes, of course, so Aadhaar is also not, behind in all of this. So I'll bring you to the first one. If you see, we used to have a lot of trolls, and this was just before the Aadhaar Act was the Aadhaar judgment by Supreme Court. Just before that. So if you see this particular Anda, this guy, his Twitter handle itself is destroy the Aadhaar. So he was our biggest troll. It was as if this guy gets up every day and thinks about how to bring down Aadhaar. So we posted a very simple infographic for Dussehra where we were showing the 10 problems in government processes as the 10 heads of Ravan, and the 10 habits of good governance which Aadhaar has enabled as the 10 arrows by Ramji. So on that, this Anda, he asks us, how many Aadhaar can a Ravan get? And our reply was very simple: not a resident of India, not eligible to enroll for Aadhaar, which is also a fact. But this particular response, you can see the comments he got, the retweets and the likes that he got, and what Aadhaar got. That itself is proof enough that a simple response like this, how it can help us. So here we have our very dear Virendra Sehwag, Viru, doing some kind of battle with Ross Taylor and Aadhaar's reply on this. And similarly, like I mentioned, so a user took the pain of coming to you. So he said, Mera beta takla hai, kya usko bhi milega Bal Aadhaar? And this was a very simple reply. So we social media people, we also get this opportunity to have fun. And we took it. And all thanks to Ashok sir, we were allowed that. And yes, because that thing has worked, so the fun is still continuing. So for Abha or for currently NHA, I handled the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. So Health IT under Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission is now called Ayushman Bharat Health Account, or Abha. So we are using our memes here as well. So we've not spared anyone from Ajay Devgan to Amitabh Bachchan to even Ranveer Singh. We are using them all, and we are having equal fun in creating these messages. So now we come to a very interesting part, which is appreciating each other. So I've gone through most of the handles. Obviously, I cannot claim to have gone through all the handles that our audience is handling, but I went through a few of them. So this was the DOT Tamil Nadu LSA handle, the PM Vani one, which I had spoken about earlier. They've done a very good job. This is a particular digital device. So this guy operates an internet service center. He operates a PM Vani Wi-Fi Kendra, and his tutorial was here. Then we also have the CCA UP East talking about the connectivity of fiber. And then we have a National Broadband Mission where my dear friend Payal works, and she is handling that. They are also, they have launched this amazing thing called Call Before You Dig. So we have gone through these conversations when we were initially working on the National Broadband Mission. And I used to think that how important this is, like the critical infrastructure that DOT is building can be destroyed by a simple digging for even a tent. That digging can actually destroy that infrastructure. So the Call Before You Dig mobile app is the answer, and this is how they've shared it. So again, the DOT Bihar handle, they have again done some regional messaging. So they got a news published in a local newspaper. This is how they have posted it. This was very interesting presentation. So kudos to these teams, please, and kudos to the other teams who are doing some great job. So USOF, of course, they are doing great. BSNL national handle, again, doing a good job. So they have actually, so a user had shared that how their network is working, and the way they appreciated the user, that is also a great way of building that connect with your audience. Thank you. Any questions, please? I'll just stop sharing.
Yeah, so thank you, Siti, for wonderful session. And that I can see from the engagement, if you just see right side, the chat boxes.
Oh,
So a lot of
yes.
appreciation has already come for you, and people have are asking for your PPT and all. So thank you
Sure.
so much. And let me, and there are a few questions if you like to answer directly on the chat box so that we can invite the next speaker. So your basics, I mean, the slide related to your basics, what to do, what works, etc. was very, very excellent and perhaps will be useful for all our, I mean, social media nodal officers who have joined today. And your experience of Aadhaar, NBM, and some of the tweets which you shared was really good. I think Garima ji has opened the video. Garima ji, if you like to say anything.
No, it was an interesting presentation, definitely, and very informative also, I would say. And this is
Thank
what
you.
is, such activities actually give us a leverage to share our experiences and learn from other. So what we learned from our mistakes, we have shared, and what we have learned from you, we'll definitely implement. So that is how I think this is mutual learning today, more of mutual learning.
Thank
Yeah,
you
Thank you
so
so much.
much.
It was a great presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Garima ji. And I would request Siti if you can just answer few questions which may be in the.
I have replied to few questions
Yeah, I
that
had seen.
asked
Yes,
me.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm asking Siti in case some questions are addressed to her.
Sure, sir.
Now
I'll
I
do that.
request Mr. Kusal Arora ji from team, share your screen. In the meantime, I'll just tell you that Kushal Arora is an expert, particularly in the analytics part, and they also handle the social media tool, which becomes very, very useful when you are having multiple social media handles, and also you're handling multiple. I mean, there are many handles in your organization. So over to you, Kushal ji.
Thank you, Ashok sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Give me a few seconds. I'm just about to share my screen. It's not working, Ashok ji. Let me try once again.
Let me see whether from my side if I can do anything. So are you getting share option or?
I'm getting the share option and I'm trying to screen share. The problem is it's telling me on my screen that Teams is sharing my screen, but I can see nothing is getting shared.
Okay. Okay. Or else you can give me your, if the slides are same, I can project, or if slides have changed, I would request you to send me.
Hanji. Just give me one more attempt. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, then I'm emailing you the slides.
So better you can WhatsApp so that quickly I can open it. Yeah.
Understood. Okay.
So in the meantime, okay. So let just try once. While choosing to share, you share the entire screen, the option of entire desktop or entire screen. That works well. Yeah. Instead of sharing window, you just share the entire screen. That works well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying that. Yeah, I'm doing that. Ashokji, is not really working. So I'm I'm sharing you the main file over WhatsApp itself.
Okay. In the meantime, let me start the next session so that we are able to manage the time, and maybe so may I request Sumit Misra ji, Director Admin from Gujarat LSA to kindly share your screen. Yeah, over to you, Sumit ji.
Sir, is my presentation visible?
Yes. Yeah, please go ahead.
So, very good afternoon to the esteemed audience. I am Sumit Mishra, Director Compliance from Gujarat LSA.
Can you go to the slide board if it is okay?
Now it is okay, sir?
Yes, it's coming. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So once again, very good afternoon to the esteemed audience of the field units of DOT, BSNL, and first of all, I am very grateful to NTI Preet team for giving us this opportunity to Gujarat LSA to present this presentation, basically on experience sharing. I'll just like to add that, we are not a professional handler. Basically, we have started from our day-to-day work. We learned and then started sharing our work with coordination of whole LSA. So I'll be just sharing whatever works we are posting on social media and how we are posting. And I'll start. Just a second.
Sumit sir, the screen isn't visible.
I think it is held up or. Now it is okay. Now it is okay.
At least on my side, I'm just seeing a black screen with your name.
Okay, I'll just share again if it is.
Sumit, any issue?
Yes, sir. Just a second. It is. Sir, आप play कर पाएंगे? There is some issue in.
No. Now it's coming. Your screen is coming. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll start with the function of the nodal officer, which I am from Gujarat LSA. What role we have to play as the nodal. So the most important role is the coordination among the different verticals and the units of the LSA. Like in Gujarat.
Sumit, you open your presentation. I can see your screen, but it's something else. Can you open your presentation?
Now it is okay, sir?
Presentation is not coming. I don't know whether others can see. We see your screen where some Excel and other things are looking.
It is screen only.
So just share again and share the entire screen and then open your PowerPoint.
Now, sir, it is okay?
Yes, it is okay. Go to slide mode.
Yeah. Now it is okay, sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
So basically, we are also here motivating all our field teams to share whatever activity they are doing immediately. We have our own LSA WhatsApp group. So whatever activity they are doing, they immediately share the photos, videos, and a small, message along with that. So that we promote, and it's almost has become part of the LSA culture that whatever activity they are doing, different verticals, they share on the WhatsApp group, and I try to post it, as early as possible, because as the previous speakers have told that, it has to be posted instantly, and it is the key. Whatever you are doing should be posted immediately. Then one step to expand our reach, what we have done is we have requested all our staff and officers of LSA as well as our service providers, which are very important partners of us, all their staff we have motivated to follow our handle. So in that way we are expanding our reach. Then as nodal officer, one of the important activity that we have to do is to retweet and quote retweet of the telecom related tweets which are related to us, LSAs, field units, which are done by Honorable MOC, MOSC office. Then DOT is posting a lot of tweets. Our professional handlers like USOF and NBN, they are posting a lot of materials which are related to LSAs, related to work of LSAs. That we RT and QRT, and similarly our other field units are posting a lot of activities. So we follow them and we try to, quote them or retweet them. So as I said that a timely posting of the activity is very important. Like suppose some meeting is planned with state government or anything. So some of the text we pre-decide. Okay, once I get photo, yeah, in fact, I'm in that meeting. So, okay, my text is pre-decided. When I get the photos and videos, I immediately tweet it because it takes just 2 or 3 minutes. In fact, 1 minute. Then as a nodal officer, sometime, the content needs to be moderated. There is a possibility that as a nodal, my content may miss something or there might be some issues. So what I request is that the seniors which are in the LSAs or my colleagues, they can give me the feedback immediately if any correction needs to be done, if some data is not correct. There is a possibility some data is not correct, or let's say I have misspelled some words. So that can be corrected immediately if feedback is timely given. Then we also follow other social media handles of other LSAs and field units to get the ideas. Okay, I might be missing something and some other LSA is posting some good works, which we are also doing. So that we follow and try to, follow it. Then certain telecom related posts, very relevant posts are being done by the Prime Minister's office, COI, if there is a meeting, they appreciate DEPA. Then state government is also posting many telecom related activities. So that we are following and try to retweet. Then many of the posts of the state cyber crime cells are linked with the activity of DOT, like they post a lot of material for the KYC frauds and the call center frauds. So that we try to follow and retweet. And when we are tweeting any such, happening of such messages regarding SIM swap or SIM frauds or, fake calls, then we tag our Gujarat cyber crime also, so they can also retweet because they are having a lot of reach. Then what I'll do is I'll just, because a lot of field units and LSA teams are there, that what we can post in our social media. So I'll just quickly go through what we do. There are many a times there is a media coverage regarding work of the LSA. Like when we had a 5G launch in Gujarat, it was covered extensively by the local newspapers, or the Vibrant Village program that we do for the border states. Then when every month we have to go to border villages and stay there and see how the infrastructure can be improved. It is part of the Honorable PM program. So that is covered in media. We try to get it covered in media, and whatever media is, covering, we try to post it on our social media. Then whenever there is a milestone launch in our LSA, like as I said, the 5G was launched and one of the location was Gujarat when Honorable PM launched on 1st October. So we had a function which was attended by Honorable Chief Minister, and our senior DDG delivered the welcome address. Gave the welcome address. So we tried to cover it on our social media. We posted 5 or 6 tweets on the same day, and it was very much appreciated and followed. Then some of the routine activities which LSA is doing and which is very important, and it is connected to the citizens and the telecom improvement, is the coverage testing. Like we have been mandated that we should do at least one city every 6 months, and apart from that, lot of coverage we do our own. Like G20 is coming, or let's say Gujarat was tasked to do mobile coverage testing on the sea route to see the penetration of the mobile signal. So such activity we are doing, then we try to post on the social media immediately. One important activity that each LSA is doing and almost doing on monthly and weekly basis is the EMR related awareness programs. So that we try to cover and we try to conduct these programs in length or breadth of Gujarat, and whenever we are doing that EMR related program, we try to post it on social media. Similarly, apart from EMR awareness, our different verticals are doing other citizen awareness program. Like there were a lot of activities during the Cyber Jagrukta Divas. Then TRI is doing many outreach programs in which LSA is being invited to conduct its own seminars. So that we cover in the awareness programs. Then one important activity is that LSA has been mandated to sign the ISP's licenses, Class B licenses, and M2M SP registration, the mobile to mobile. So in this, what we do, and most of the LSAs are doing, we take a sound video bite of the licensee, and we try to cover that he tells ki which area he'll be covering and what services he is offering, and we post his video bite on our social media on the work that he'll be doing. So that encourages the licensee also. Then there is a lot of meetings that LSA and the field units conduct with the state government. There is a regular state broadband committee meeting, street furniture related meeting, 5G rollout meeting, and now there is a 4G saturation project that BSNL is doing, for which LSA is coordinating. So as and when we have that meeting, so we post it so that people are aware that what field unit is doing. Then there are a lot of visits to resolve and to get the feedback of the PG and VIP complaint. We have to go to villages to check the coverage. We have to do drive test. Recently there was an MOSC complaint and we conducted a drive test in a village to get the feedback, what is the coverage there. So these activities are posted. Then one routine activity of LSA is the rollout obligation testing, that we have to check the coverage in DHQs, BHQs, and rural SDCA, which is defined in the license, so that LSA is doing for the TSPs. Many a time, as you can see in one of the picture, that we had to test in extreme monsoon condition because the due date was there approaching. So we try to cover such things when hardships are there, and our team, despite that hardship, does the work. Then as you all are aware that PM Vani is very important program which is being monitored in DOT. So we try to post whenever there is a webinar regarding that, to connect to the audience, or some post to how to get registered in the PM Vani. So that we cover. And if there is a new hotspot in, let's say, some new city or new town under PM Vani, or there is a public function for the launch of PM Vani, that we try to cover in our social media. Then next is a lot of webinars all the LSAs are conducting, like on point of sale, regarding point of sale awareness, MMTC, Saral Sanchar. So whenever there is such industry webinars which is being participated by industry stakeholders and other schools and colleges, we post it on social media. Then one of the important programs in the border LSAs and border field units is the Honorable PM's Vibrant Village program, which I touched earlier, in which LSA staff has to visit the border villages, stay there and get the assessment of the infrastructure and give its inputs. So whenever that Vibrant Village program is there, we cover it on social media. Then there is a lot of senior officers visits in the field units, like from DOT headquarters, whenever they are coming, visiting, they are conducting meetings with the stakeholders, the service provider, licensee. So whenever such activity is there, we post it on the social media. Then one very important work that we are doing, that the LSAs and the field units, sometimes CCA and LSA, are the designated monitoring agency of the USO websites. So here what we have done is, whenever we go for the physical verification, we take video bites of the villagers there. And let me share that those villagers are so happy with the coverage that on their own they give such good video bites, that how their life has changed when the tower, 4G tower, came to their villages. So this is a very good experience from their heart that we can post on our social media, and it gives a very good coverage and publicity to DOT. Then there is a lot of public campaigns from time to time which LSAs and field units have to do, like there was Swachh Bharat campaign. So here we posted what was the status before the campaign and how we made it okay. So such photograph before and after we post. Then there was a Har Ghar Tiranga campaign during the Independence Day. So whatever activities, such public campaigns are being done, that we post on social media. Now, very important work that LSA is doing now is regarding G20 preparedness, where we have to ensure coverage at all the venues, the location, the hotels, and the ASI monuments which delegates will be visiting. To, I think most of the LSAs are doing the drive test and coverage testing. So as and when it is being done, we are posting it on our social media. Then we post regarding the celebrations, like there was this International Yoga Day, which was organized by LSA in Dholavira in Bhuj, Kutch, and then similar such like Constitution Day celebration. So we post it on our social media. Then there are many stakeholders workshop with all the LSAs are doing, like conferences with the ISPs regarding Saral Sanchar. So as and when such conferences are there, we post it. Then many a times our LSA is posting public advisories, like our security vertical is posting many posts regarding the fake apps, or let's say fraudulent calls, what needs to be done, the do's and don'ts which citizen needs to do. And similarly, headquarter is also telling us to, post and spread awareness on whenever there is a call from 1955 on the feedback for the coverage, or let's say the international calls which are being coming as local numbers, which the consumer have to report on 1800110420. So these awareness and these advisory posts we are also doing. One important work was when LSAs were given to test the 5G network before the rollout. So a lot of 5G testing was carried out in many of the LSAs. So we posted the testing activities regarding that. And even now LSAs have been mandated to check the speed and share the experience where the TSPs have launched the services. So as and when that is being done, like today Rajasthan LSA posted, they have tested and posted the how much speed they got. To similar activity we are also doing. Then there are other areas also apart from what I mentioned above, like Gujarat LSA was given to do the offshore naval survey for the submarine cable, international submarine cable. So we got our director rural to share the pics from the naval itself, from the ship itself, and we posted. Similarly, when there was an International Yoga Day celebration in Dholavira, so many of you will be aware that it is in the heart of a desert. So there we got around 2 kilometers of aerial OFC laid and from the nearest BTS site, and ensured that there was OFC connectivity, and the program was live streamed. So we posted on that also on our social media. Then, as you all must be aware that our Honorable MOC is from Gujarat state. So whenever there is an important event in Gujarat related to telecom, we shared content with his office. So many a times that content is tweeted from the Honorable MOSC handle itself. Like whenever once there was a 5G BTS launched, USOF 4G BTS launched in one village. So we shared the pictures and the video bite with him. So with the office of Honorable MOSC, and it was tweeted. Similarly, we arranged an outreach program where Honorable MOSC visited the village and shared the experience of the villagers. So it was posted. And similarly, when we do some important activity, we tag DOT headquarter and the office of MOSC and Honorable MOSC, and you can see that many of our tweets are then retweeted by them and we receive a congratulatory message also when 5G testing was done. So this was basically to just share with all my teams of LSAs and field units that whatever activities we are doing, there are a lot of activities that we are doing. And it is just that we need to connect with each other and ensure that that our teams share that videos and images and the text immediately with the nodal officer, and then it can be posted on social media. So I can say that in each week at least 5 to 6 posts we can very easily do on the work we are doing and which is related to the public also. With this, I close this presentation, and I once again thank from Gujarat LSA, NTI team, Ashok sir, everyone to give this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumit. You can answer. Thank you so much for excellent presentation, and you can just unshare your screen, sir.
Yes, sir.
So basically, all people for all other LSA, CCA units, and PSUs that what area of work we have related to that information or outreach program we should do. So thank you so much. Now I invite Germinate to on your behalf. I'll be sharing the screen. I have your PPT, and you can go ahead with that, sir. Kushalji, are you around? Kushal Aroraji, can you unmute yourself? Kushal, please unmute.
Perhaps need to call him, Ashok, on phone.
I have called, sir. I have called, sir. He's online. So he's rejoining. He is having some issue with his laptop. Give us a moment. He's joining in a moment, so he had some issue.
Yeah.
Ashokji, I'm having a broadband issue. I'm just figuring it out. I will just take a few more seconds.
Okay, no problem.
Actually, so sorry.
No problem. Keep this. Okay. He's just connecting. Please bear with us.
Being once connected.
Yeah. We
Yes.
can hear you, Kushalji, so I'll just open the PPT.
Hanji. Yeah, yes.
Can you see?
Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, it's visible. Yes.
Okay, let me just go to the full screen mode.
Yes.
Is it still visible?
It's not in full screen mode.
Because you're not sharing full screen.
Now it's coming. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay. Apologies, everyone.
Again,
Okay,
it has gone
I'll-
back into unsliding. Yeah, this is fine.
Just wait for a few seconds. I think there's a lag. It should be in full screen in the next few seconds. Once again.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I understand this is usually the time people break off for refueling themselves. So I will be brief and I'll try to stick to the point. Shubho sir and Shruti, Garima have already covered a bunch of points. So I will make sure to not be redundant and repeat them. In the conversation that we are about to have right now, I will focus broadly on communicating on social media from a response and community management viewpoint. My name is Kushal and I have experience within the field of social media, particularly with managing the reputation of Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 brands for the last 10 years. I have myself, my larger organization and my team, we have dealt with managing the reputation, managing the way brands communicate with consumers, customers, not just during business as usual scenarios, but also in tight critical scenarios such as when there is a reputation crisis, when there is an extraordinary event such as a demonetization, or due to the pandemic there was a national lockdown, and even during other positive scenarios wherein there is a major product or a service launch. From within our experience, when it comes to why social media should matter to any government authority or a branch of the government, 3 reasons come to mind. First is engaging with the younger audiences, the younger users. Shubho sir had shared certain statistics, and what I'm sharing over here is in line with what they had shared earlier. In general, an average person in India right now spends a bit more than 3 hours a day on social media, and young people spend even more time than that. One major reason why I feel this trend will only continue to, if not strengthen further, is because at present, the youth is not just finding their education online, they're also finding their social relationships online, and they're even finding employment online. Our company, like many other companies out there, isn't just an example of how folks can completely be online in any part of India and still be employed. So that's another reason why being available on social media and communicating with them becomes important. Next, when it comes to crisis management, in the past 1 year, we have seen a lot of weather-related disasters touching certain parts of India. And then there is also the issue of geopolitical situation which is evolving. In such a situation or in such a world where genuine news can also come and misinformation can also spread, that is where social media becomes a key tool within the toolkit of the government and its branches to manage crisis and so as to inform, educate, communicate with individuals, citizens on social media. The third part and the third major reason is the marketing.
Yeah, sorry, there was some noise. Please go ahead.
Pardon, yes. The third major reason why we should consider being on social media is for the sake of marketing. The many things which the government ends up doing isn't known or the public isn't aware of. So communicating about that becomes important for the simple reason of increasing awareness increasing the positive perception and also inspiring a confidence that just like the web, the government and its branches is also evolving for the betterment of everyone. Now, when it comes to communicating on social media, by our understanding, there are two broad ways of doing so. One is a broadcast method and the other one is a converse method. Within the broadcast, and this is something that Shruti covered earlier on, these are essentially, this approach essentially means that you have certain messages and you intend to publish them, you intend to push them through whatever social channels that you own on social media. The broadcast method is helpful because it acts as a conversation starter. It helps people understand what are you busy with, what are you doing right now, what has been achieved, and therefore that can lead to a conversation beginning on the larger social media forum, be it the public one or the private one. People become aware of all the things that are being done, and also that all these channels, even if, like we saw in Shobha sir's deck and the various social media presences of MyGov, they already have access to lakhs, if not tens of lakhs of individuals. So whatever message gets put out on owned government social media channels, that as is approaching, is reaching a wider set of people. That's why the broadcasting is important, but certain cautionary points, and I mean this from a reputation management viewpoint, because that is our bread and butter. When it comes to broadcasting, the first thing is one needs to be careful of the way we are framing our messages, because once we put out a certain word or a set of words with a good intention, they can be twisted, they can be taken in another context, and that can give a rise to a certain problem or a reputation crisis. So the way we frame our message is important. That needs to be done carefully. Current affairs and timings are critical, and sometimes even if you have a fantastic message, it can be undone completely if it is posted at a wrong time. Now, one example of that is a screenshot you all will be viewing on your screen right now. The lady over here is someone by the name of Brittany Griner. Now, she's an American basketball player, and she was caught in Russia because she was found consuming banned substances. Now, she is being caught in Russia, but back in US, the press coverage was not as high as it would have normally been. And that was because of two reasons. Number one, the geopolitical relationships between US and Russia are already very delicate right now. And number two, the Ukraine-Russia war had just started. So the entire attention was on the war, and the press back home in US did not purposely cover the issue as much as it would have normally have. So they understood if they give too much coverage to this, certain individuals, certain parties can get affected. They will not appreciate it, and that will give rise to another reputation crisis of its own. Formatting and language checks are hygiene, because the way we are communicating, the way we are putting out our message, it is being looked at with a magnifying glass by people out there. Not the very least are trolls. Those individuals, there are few individuals out there who purely sit just to make fun or light of situation. So if we put out an interesting message, which unfortunately has some grammatical error, some punctuation error, the essence of the message will get lost, and the entire point will be that a gaffe or a mistake has been committed over here. Transparency, when it comes to transparency and the fact checking, when it comes to putting out information is critical. An example of that you can see over here. Now, in this particular example, in this tweet, a certain politician in the United States, they had put out a tweet wherein they wanted to show their support, not just being a nationalist, but also being in support of the marginalized LGBTQI+ population through virtue of the rainbow flag, the pride flag. They wanted to show that they are a supporter of not just the nationalists, but also these marginalized community, and that both the flags tend to fly high in their office throughout the year. But if you look at the tweet carefully, particularly the rainbow flag, you can see the folds and the creases. And that is what the users found, that the flag does not appear that it's been open and it's been hanging for the entire year. It was essentially folded and kept somewhere. And perhaps only for this photo operation, this was put out and hung up on the door. So therefore, this individual, this politician, was ridiculed badly. And that serves as an example of how, when it comes to conveying messages, let's try to be transparent, let's try to be clear, let's try to be at least on the side of the facts, so that a fact checker or a person who's looking at your tweets with a magnifying glass, he or she doesn't end up becoming a problem for you on social media, reputationally speaking. Now, this is something which Shruti also covered in her deck, and I'm echoing the same point, that whatever messages, whatever content we are putting out there, please understand, memes are an element of the newer generation. It's not the younger kids indulging in it. People across age groups are beginning to use memes. So therefore, whatever your message is, it might be weaponized in the form of a meme. So if that happens, there is no point in reacting to it. One can just understand it, monitor it, and carry on. If we end up replying to these things, it will only stoke fire. That will be pointless. So let's just be prepared about that. And also, because broadcasting requires you putting out messages on your own social media channels, authentication security is critical. You should ideally invest in systems who not only have proper password processes, but also two-factor authentication wherever possible, so that the chances of your social channel getting hacked or getting breached is minimal, if not negligible. Now, moving on to Converse, that is another form of communication where instead of just putting out messages as a one-way communication, we are trying to converse with people who are reacting or who are reaching out to us on our social media channels. It just helps the entity, the branch of the government, or any brand for that matter, be seen in a more positive perception, be seen in a more positive light. And when you're conversing with people, you're not only helping them, assisting them with their queries or their concerns, but should you come across any misinformation or an individual, a citizen asking you that, is this true? Then you can also use your social channel to dispel myths and bring clarity to the larger situation. This is something that we call as response management or community management also. Now, in general, try to respond to as many posts, as many queries, concerns that you come across, realistically speaking. I will not go for a 100% response rate, because the members over here aren't belonging to a usual B2C brand. This is not an FMCG brand that we are talking about. But whichever query is deemed relevant, is deemed important, they definitely should get a response from the handle as and where possible. If we are responding to individuals, being time sensitive is a good idea. In general, if you can respond to someone within 30 minutes, that's fantastic. If it is a sensitive situation, then it is better to cross-check, to understand, to frame a reply, and then get in touch with the person, because once a reply is put out, and even if it is taken down within seconds or a minute or two, someone would have screenshotted it, or better yet, someone would have just gone and saved the link somewhere on the web archive. And a web archive is a particular place where once you save a particular web page, it will forever be available over there. Even if the tweet is down, even if the entire website is down, that doesn't matter. The tone of the response, whatever gets put out, it should be friendly, it should be empathetic, it should be conversational, which is why we as Germinate, we don't usually recommend brands to stick to a template. Let it be customized, let it be relevant to the situation at hand. And like I mentioned a few minutes ago, there would be individuals who will be deeply unhappy or who just wish to have fun on your expense. So if a person is spamming or if a person is consistently ranting, there is no point responding to them beyond the initial few responses. Just monitor the situation, that is it. That's what we generally recommend. And once again, similar to the caution that we also have to take while publishing content, there are certain hygiene factors, grammar and punctuation, which we should take care of over here also. And in a situation where we are in a very rare situation where we are having a long conversation with someone, after that initial response, there may be a need for an interim, a secondary, tertiary response also. And after the entire situation has been solved for a particular citizen, wherein we've done what they wanted, we've given them the assistance that they needed, it is a good touch to add a closure response. So a person, a third party, if he or she were to come on the web, on social media and see what exactly you all did or what exactly was a citizen asking as a support and what support was given out to them, one can see the start and the end in the same screen. And that serves as a fantastic example of the government further evolving on social media and adequately using it to the benefit of individuals. To the benefit of citizens, public. So social media is important. We can communicate on it via publishing content or broadcasting or just communicating with them in the form of response management, community management. But all of that should ideally be done through a particular system, because manual approaches, a person logging into Twitter, Facebook the entire day and then finding content, publishing content, responding to people, that is not a scalable process. Things can fall through the cracks, they can get missed out. So that's where a good system is needed. And why a system helps you is because any general good system out there, number one, helps you gather all your social media information in a single place. So if your branch of the government or if your particular team have a Twitter and a Facebook handle, user comments on both those channels will be made available in a single place. It becomes much easier for you or your team to look at all the comments and then accordingly decide, okay, this should be responded, this should not be responded. The second part is because everything is coming in the same place, there is greater accountability and there are lesser chances of something mistakenly getting missed out. This used to occur particularly when we used to work with the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. For them, any concern about a thermal incident or a fire incident was critical, and they could never afford to lose out on commenting and assisting people who are even spreading information on that, which is just one example of the way in which a system makes it easy for you to track things and action them on the right time. The third thing is any stable tool out there also should help you with establishing workflows. So out of n number of concerns that you may get from the public, some may require urgent attention, some may require moderate attention, and some may require a lower degree of attention. Basically, some people will need a response within minutes, some can wait for 30-60 minutes, and some can wait beyond 60 minutes also. And again, the critical queries should be responded by someone who specializes more, who has more domain awareness, whereas the others are still frequently asked questions which can be dealt by younger members in your team also. So if there's a workflow that designates the critical queries to certain individuals and the lighter FAQ queries to certain other people, that's what makes your work a bit more easy, and you avoid a situation wherein a novice ends up reacting to a delicate situation in an incorrect manner. User prioritization, Garima spoke considerably and rightfully on the importance of influencers, be they micro, macro, or even nano these days. If any of these individuals were to interact with your team, with your handle, you would want to at least know that they have engaged with your content immediately, or you may want to even engage with them via responses. So a good tool should also help you prioritize those individuals' reactions and comments before the other individuals. So that's where prioritization helps you understand, helps you react to those individuals faster. Because whatever they say, in case they've said something bad about you, that can spread and that can create a mini crisis for you already. Security and compliance, the permission levels, authentication, a system just makes all of that easy for you. And then towards the end, we also have these days chatbots. And chatbots again are fantastic when it comes to using AI to tackle frequently asked questions at a large scale. The more complex questions or the most complex situations is which will require human intervention. But for a good chunk of all the traction that you will get, of all the responses you all may need to, your team may need to eventually tackle, a chatbot can be of assistance over there. And that's what brings me to Germinate and the fact that we do have such a technology, and we have worked with many private sector brands. We've worked with Aadhaar closely in the past. We still work with Aadhaar. We've even worked with the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas back when they were launching the MOPNG_eSeva Twitter service, wherein utilizing our tool, they had achieved a response time of an average of 10 to 15 minutes. So whenever anyone had a concern about gas leakage, anyone wanted a cylinder, anyone wanted a gas connection, anyone complained about how a certain agent was asking for 500 rupees for the form, they could just bring it to the team's attention, and via Truya's dedicated workflows, responses could be given out to them on time. In fact, besides Truya, which is we call as a social customer relationship management tool, besides Truya doing whatever it does, we also have another particular technology which helps to understand customer voice, consumer voice better, or the public voice better, which we call as Germinate Social Listening. But again, just returning to Truya. So like I was saying again a few slides ago, one of the things that Truya does when it comes to managing all the action that you're getting on your social media handles is it helps you queue up and it helps you with better allocation of work. So again, taking the example of, let's say, Aadhaar. So if a person had a concern with the change of address, if a person had a concern with a harassment at the hands of officials, if the person had a concern with locating a particular branch or a center to either get their Aadhaar details revised or just to apply for a new Aadhaar card because they don't have any, all of that could easily be done from the tool itself, wherein it's giving the harassment or the more sensitive conversations is designating things to the more senior people in the team. The team as in the folks who are responding on behalf of the Aadhaar team on social media. And the lighter queries can go to the younger individuals within the team. Customer prioritization is essentially if we come across any influencers and we wish to respond to them before we do to others for the sake of reputation management. Then within sorry. Hello.
So with audio, Mr. Kushal.
Hanji, is my screen not visible right now?
No, screen is
No, it's coming now. It's
okay.
Screen is coming.
My bad.
Please go ahead.
I thought I had a temporary network disruption. My apologies.
Maybe yeah.
In Truya also, it also makes available the entire interaction history of a single individual with you from start to end. So should a same person talk to you in January 23, and if they had spoken to you even in March of 22, everything is available in the same place. So we know the history of each individual who's spoken to us. And then also one can even track the efficiency of the team so that we understand that how quickly are individuals out there on social media getting reactions, responses from our side. That is just to enhance the internal service levels. And all in all, a social media based response operation or community management operation is a more cost effective one as opposed to a BPO operation. So that's another reason why people prefer investing in a tool such as Truya. Towards the end, besides investing in tools which assist in response and community management, there are multiple brands out there who are also utilizing other services of Germinate to understand the public better, to understand consumers better. A general perception study, just understanding how is one company doing vis-a-vis other companies, what kind of content, the messaging that you're putting out, how is it performing by its own standards over a period of time, or how is it performing vis-a-vis similar players out there in the larger industry or even the industries abroad. That is something that we do within content effectiveness. And should any campaign be run, we also help you understand, we also help you set benchmarks to understand how did a campaign perform, was it up to your standards, and what could have been done better subjectively or objectively. That's about it from my side. I think, yeah, that's about it from my side. I'll be happy to take any questions if there are any.
Thank you, Kusal Arora ji, for giving quick information about
yes,
how social media should be handled, and also about your tool, that how it can be very, very useful for handling social media in an organization in a better way, having a separate compared.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So thank you so much, Kusal ji. Thank you so much. Maybe there are a few questions in the chat box you can directly answer. That will be better. As you know, we are running a bit short of time because of some perhaps broadband issue. Some of your voice got disturbed in between, but anyway, we were able to understand. So thank you so much for your presentation and taking your time for this presentation. So thank you so much, Kushal ji. Now, may I request DDG Training Management, Adhir Singhal sir, for finally the formal vote of thanks. Adhir Singhal sir, if you are around.
Thank you, Ashok. Thank you so much. And first of all, I must congratulate and thank you for organizing a very timely workshop on social media outreach for government departments and best practices. This has come at very, very right time and appropriate time for all of us to attend. In the start, I will like to be saying my thanks on my behalf as well as on behalf of our institute, NTI-PRIT, to Dr. Mahesh Shukla, Member Services DCC, for being here to deliver the inaugural address and also bless us with his presence. We are especially thankful for him understanding the needs of NTI-PRIT and posting our experienced officers over here. You are, Mr. Ashok is one of them, and we are able to deliver this workshop because of blessings of our member service. Thank you so much, sir. My thanks to our DG, Shri Raju Sinha sir, who has always been guiding us to all these new challenging topics and giving us hand-holding for getting the best of the speakers to deliver the sessions on the new and upcoming subjects. My sincere thanks to all the learned speakers of the session, Madam Garima Tiwari, Shri Shubho Senagupta, Ma'am Kshiti Garg, Shri Kushal Arora, and our own from Gujarat LSA. So thank you so much for the contents which you have shared with all of us. These were very enlightening, and many of them, though we are using the social media for quite some time on different platforms, but many are so new to us that we have learned with this. Thank you so much once and all for conducting this workshop. Thank you so much. Back to you, Ashok.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now, with permission of, I think Shukla sir is also still in the meeting, but I seek a closing remark from Sinha sir and then permission to close the workshop.
Thank you, Ashok. Thank you, Kushal, and other speakers in our session. Many new things we could know about it. NTI-PRIT with our nodal in charge, Ashok Kumar, we will try to further have more session like this and for nodal officers as directed by DOT in coming quarters. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now, with your permission, we'll close the session. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We will be sending you all the PPTs. I have just floated a form. If you can just put in your email ID, etc. On that form, it will be easy for us to send you instead of, taking out one email ID from the messages. So I've just shared a form wherein you can give your information, also feedback about the workshop, and that will use for sending you the PPT also. So thank you so much. Now we are closing.
Thank you.